Today we're going to be reacting to a video called The Netherlands is Not Holland, and it never was. Interesting one because not really anymore, but definitely the older generation of Americans still sometimes call the Netherlands Holland.
Which is interesting because anyone that would know of the name of Holland would be decently geographically educated, and I guess they're different in some way.
Sometimes I've heard the name Holland and I just thought it was another name for the Netherlands, but then it's a certain part of the Netherlands, but then this video saying it's not.
It never was.
But does that still mean it could be a part?
Yeah, maybe.
But I think a big reason why people in America think of Holland is World War II.
Yeah, I could see that too. And that's why it's sort of the older generation that would know about it, because maybe that's how it was referred to in certain news or whatever in media.
In like Band of Brothers and World War II like movies, they refer to as Holland. So I don't know what it was officially called back then. Or what? I don't know.
Hopefully we can learn actually the history in this, and it's not going to leave us with more questions.
Let's see. Here we go.
Welcome to the great nation of Holland, where the tulips grow, the windmills turn, the breakfast is chocolatey, the people industrious, and the sea tries to drown it all. Except this country isn't Holland. It's time for the difference between Holland, the Netherlands, and a whole lot more. The correct name for this tulip-growing, windmill-building, hagelslag-eating, container ship-moving, ocean-conquering nation is the Netherlands. But confusion is understandable. The general region has been renamed a lot over 1,000 years, including as the Dutch Republic, the United States of Belgium, and the Kingdom of Holland. But it's not just
United States of Belgium. That's interesting.
Could you imagine how much controversy there would be if that was still around today?
Yeah.
History that makes this country's name confusing, because the Netherlands is divided into 12 provinces. Groningen, Drenthe, Overijssel, Gelderland, Limburg, Noord-Brabant, Zeeland, which by the way is the Zeeland that makes this Zeeland new, Friesland with adorable little hearts on its flags, Flevoland, Utrecht, and here's the confusion, North Holland, and South Holland.
Okay.
These provinces make calling the Netherlands Holland like calling the United States Dakota. Though unlike the Dakotas, which are mostly empty, save for the occasional jackalope, the two Hollands are the most populated provinces and have some of the biggest...
So it'd be like calling the United States like New York or California.
Yeah, which people do sometimes. Most of the big cities that we know of are in those provinces, they were called.
Interesting. I wonder how long, like even locals, like for example, in Vietnam, South Vietnam, Ho Chi Minh City is the city, but even locals there still call it Saigon. So I wonder how long in the Netherlands the locals from these areas, or all of the Netherlands when it was the Kingdom of Holland or whatever that he said it was at some point. Like how long did people in the Netherlands still call it Holland?
Yeah, true. When was that? That was a while ago on his thing, right?
Yeah.
It said, and then people still call it Saigon, and that's like 60 years ago.
Yeah, a while.
So, yeah, maybe people do. I don't know. That's interesting.
Attractions like Amsterdam and Kokenhof. Chances are, if it's Dutch and you've heard of it, it's in one of the Hollands. Even the government's travel website for the country is holland.com, officially because it sounds friendlier, but unofficially, it's probably what people are actually searching for.
Interesting.
Confusion continues because
all the young people who grew up with Minecraft, their first association with Netherlands would be the Nether in Minecraft, and that's not very friendly.
Yeah, that's true.
people who live in the Hollands are called Hollanders, but all citizens of the Netherlands are called Dutch, as is their language. But in Dutch, they say, Nederlands spreken de Nederlanders in Nederland, which sounds like they'd rather we call them Netherlanders speaking Netherlandish. Meanwhile, next door in Germany, they're Deutsche sprechen Deutsch in Deutschland, which sounds like they'd rather be called Dutch. This linguistic confusion is why Americans call the Pennsylvania Dutch Dutch, even though they're Germans. To review, this country is the Netherlands, its people are Dutch, and they speak Dutch. There is no country called Holland, but there are provinces of North and South Holland. Got it? Great, because it's about to get more complicated. The Netherlands is part of a kingdom with the same name, the Kingdom of the Netherlands, which is headed by the Dutch royal family. The Kingdom of the Netherlands contains 3 more countries, and to find them we must sail from the icy North Sea to the Caribbean and Aruba, Curacao, and St. Martin. These are no territories, but self-governing countries within
Is it
the
actually called Curacao? I've always heard Curacao.
Yeah, I don't know. I swear all the people that talked about it called it Curacao, but Who knows?
Kingdom of the Netherlands, and as such, they have their own governments and their own currencies. Geography geek side note here, while Aruba and Curacao are islands, St. Martin is just the southern half of a tiny island also named St. Martin, the other half of which is occupied by France, and also named St. Martin. So despite being separated by Belgium on the European map, the Kingdom of the Netherlands and the French Republic share a border on the other side of the world on an island so nice they named it thrice. But
Fun
why
fact.
does the Kingdom of the Netherlands reach to the Caribbean anyway? Because empire. In the 1600s, the Dutch, always looking to expand business, laid their hands on every valuable port they could. For a time, America's east coast was New Netherland with its capital city of New Amsterdam. There was New Zealand, as mentioned previously, and nearby, the King of the Islands, New Holland. Though the empire is gone, these 3 Caribbean nations remain. And while 4 countries in one kingdom isn't unheard of, it doesn't stop there because the country of the Netherlands also extends its borders to the Caribbean and 3 more islands: Bonaire, St. Eustatius, and Saba. These are not countries in
Never
a
heard of
kingdom, but
those.
are cities in the country of the Netherlands, and they look the part. Residents of these far-flung cities vote in elections for the Dutch government just as any Hollander would, though weirdly they don't belong to any province, and they don't use the Dutch currency of euros, they use dollars instead. It's kind of like if Hawaii wasn't a state, but technically part of the District of Columbia, all the while using yen. These cities of the country of the Netherlands and these countries in the Kingdom of the Netherlands are together known as the Dutch Caribbean, and their citizens are Dutch citizens, which, because the Kingdom of the Netherlands is a member of the European Union, means that these Dutch Caribbeans are also Europeans. So in the end, there are 6 Caribbean islands, 4 countries, 12 provinces, 2 Hollands, 2 Netherlands, and 1 kingdom. All Dutch.
Okay, so it didn't really answer our question of why.
Yeah, but we did learn about the rest of the current Kingdom of the Netherlands.
So I guess the answer of why people may still call it the Netherlands Holland is because for the tourism website, for example, they still think people think of them as Holland. So they're like, yeah, I guess we're Holland. That's okay.
Yeah, and then there's not as much of a push to correct people and like make sure they have one specific way of saying it. Like they don't care as much because even like the Saigon Ho Chi Minh, I think some people really care about that. Same with like calling the place Mumbai versus Bombay or whatever. Some people really have like the certain one that is the correct one because they're trying to get rid of some other connotation previously. But this one, there isn't really a negative
There's
connotation.
Probably
either side.
still people
Yeah.
that do that. I mean, there's people like that everywhere. It's probably the ones that are like really, really into it. Like another India example. Suddenly there's going to be people that are like, don't call it India, call it Bharat.
Yeah.
But most normal people are going to be like, whatever.
Yeah.
Just call it whatever you want. It doesn't really matter.
Until it just slowly switches into
Yeah.
whatever is the most common one.
Yeah. But that's very interesting. I've never called it Holland in my life.
No.
I honestly thought that they were 2 different places, probably, when I first heard of both of them. I was like, where's Holland? Where's the Netherlands? Then you realize.
And then you also think that Dutch is a different place too.
Yeah, I mean, you might. I mean, very interesting video. Let us know if there's some other Netherlands videos you'd want us to check out down in the comments below, or you can go to the Google form and send us something. We need more stuff from the Netherlands.
Do you think it's going to get more confusing now that the soccer player is so famous with the name of Holland now?
Yeah, they're like, is he from Holland?
Oh.
Is that how you spell Holland? Thanks for watching, everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed. See you in the next one. Goodbye.